The 2022 season has been a demolition derby for Des Moines this season, taking 19 points from a possible 21 in USL League 2 regular season. They beaten every team in the league except for one, and they have an opportunity to remedy that tonight. Good evening and welcome to live coverage of Des Moines Menace Soccer on the Central Iowa Sports Network for Pride Night on June 25th. Alongside Justin Forster, my name's Danny Catula, and it's a pleasure to bring you live coverage of USL League 2 action with your Des Moines Menace right here on CISN. Justin, welcome in. Good to have you back after a little while away. It's fun to have my broadcast partner once again alongside me. What are we looking forward to in a matchup with a club who, historically hasn't been very good, but they've gotten ownership, they've turned things around, and they're the only team to take points off of Menace this year?
Well, they used to be Winnipeg previously. Now they're Manitoba. They've got a new ownership, financial injection, which is helping with the squad. It was 0-0 the last time in Canada, but don't forget the Menace were on the road. It's a lot of traveling, a lot of fatigue that set in. I think today might be a little bit different with the rotation in the Menace squad and something to look forward to.
Yeah, you never want to make excuses. That's something I spoke with Eddie about last time when I had him in your place while you were traveling.
True.
And it's not a team that likes to make excuses. It's a team with a lot of quality that usually doesn't have to. But like you mentioned, there's obviously quite a bit that was at play in that 0-0 draw. And I think the expectation is something a little bit different. Manitoba, one of their last two matches were wins. They won 4-1 against Minneapolis City just in a week's time. And then earlier in midweek on Wednesday, They lost a little bit of that momentum, 2-1 to St. Croix. Menace getting a 3-0 win at St. Croix last week, and then, of course, a 4-1 victory over second-place Peoria City on Wednesday. It's a 15-match unbeaten streak for Menace dating back to last season, and that gives you a lot of confidence if you're Menace.
Yeah, absolutely it does. A lot of confidence, but, it's an organization with a great squad. I was down there, and you were down there yesterday watching the training session. The chemistry is unbelievable. Just with the finishing activity they did at the end, the players are celebrating. You can just see how much they want everything. And, I was talking to Elliot Goldthorpe, and he was talking about when they got back from Manitoba, 6 a.m. the next morning, after a 0-0 draw, they were unhappy with that, and they were ready to get back at it right away.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is their chance. They've had this circled for a while now. They've been able to sit with that draw, and I think they're ready to turn that around. We'll see if they can do it in just a moment. When we return, we'll discuss what went well for Menace in a successful 2-match week and how they can accomplish more of the same here at Valley. More live coverage is next on CISN.
The Chicken in Orilla is a classic roadhouse joint serving chicken any way you want. All hand-cut, hand-breaded, and 100% satisfying. Chicken, just like your mama used to make. Bring the whole fam for all their favorites, and chicken so good you'll know why we could only call ourselves the Chicken. In the middle of nowhere, but just minutes from everywhere.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors, and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday,
and we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Back with you in West Des Moines on CISN as Des Moines Menace gets set to host FC Manitoba in the second meeting between these two on the year. Justin Forster joins myself, Danny Catula, with you in the press box at Valley Stadium. Last week, a little bit of success for both sides, a little bit more for Menace. Obviously, they go 2 for 2 as Manitoba goes 1 for 2, and Menace picking up a 4th clean sheet in the process. Take us through that 3-0 win at St. Croix on the 18th a week ago, Justin.
Yeah, so if you have a look at this, Menace in black, St. Croix are in their full white strip. Final score was 3-0. And as you can see here, the ball was played forward. Nice little combination, ball out wide. And a perfectly weighted ball in there for Brandon Birmingham to finish in the bottom corner, just timing his movement onto the ball, wearing jersey number 10. Goal number 2. Just a little bit of individual combination expertise here as you see Kraft latching onto the ball and just finishing easily past the goalkeeper. Here you'll see Eddie Speed, lovely ball played through. Little dink over the head by D'Agostini goes past the keeper and just slots it with his left foot calmly into the bottom corner. Great technique.
Yeah, proper Brazilian. Great technique on him. That first touch, man, brilliant.
Just a little dink over the goalkeeper's head.
All it takes sometimes, and as you mentioned, a 3-0 result for Menace over St. Croix. That and away action. Des Moines have been fairly consistent away from home. Of course, there's that one draw that we've mentioned a couple of times, 0-0, the only time Menace have been kept off of the score sheet. But now let's take you to a match with even more goals. 4-1 the result at Peoria.
And this was away in Peoria at Bradley University's home ground. It's a narrow pitch, but as you can see here, the Menace in their striped jerseys, as Kraft is brought down, and Brandon Birmingham just slots the ball past the goalkeeper, keeper going the wrong way. With nice composure here, a mistake by the centre back, playing it across his goal mouth, and Kraft says thank you very much and picks it up and slots it away. A nice individual goal here. Great ball from the wide area, and as you can see, pouncing onto the goalkeeper, Era D'Agostini, and the defender trying to clear his lines, but a nice, easy one to finish.
Fun celebration as well, and then you get that fourth one from Degli Innocenti.
Yep, yeah, and that was Kraft with the second one.
Yeah, that's right. 2 goals in 2 matches for Kraft this past week, and 2 for Birmingham as well. Significant for Brandon Birmingham because now he's got 2 goals from 3 matches and 2 starts on the campaign, but he doesn't feature in the starting 11. Such is the depth of this Menace roster, isn't it, Justin?
Yeah, I believe he needs a rest as well. I mean, he's played 2 full matches, and it's time to rotate, rest the legs. The Menace are 10 points clear of their division currently, with Peoria close and behind. But if they take care of business tonight, as you can see, 7-0-1.
Yeah, pretty significant difference in the table, even between first and second, and no game-in-hand difference. Both teams have played 8 matches when you look at first and second, Des Moines and Peoria City. Thunder Bay in the conversation as well. They've got a couple of matches still to play, but they've got an 11-point gap to try and solve. Menace in firm control right now. They can clinch a top 2 spot and a playoff spot with it if they win over Manitoba tonight. And speaking of Manitoba, scouting them, they were founded in 2011 as WSA Winnipeg, and since they've rebranded under owner and center back Enrique Garcia, they have changed quite a bit. Formerly known as WSA, as you see on the screen, they've never beaten the Menace as Winnipeg, and it's their first time playing Menace as FC Manitoba. They had 9 straight last-place finishes up until this season and took the 21 season off, keep in mind, because in Canada they had a lot different rules as far as who could travel, and all the Canadian clubs in USL League 2 opted out of that season. Player to watch is not in the starting 11, but he's got quite a bit of talent on him. He commanded a $4 million transfer fee to Juventus in 2009. Obviously, that was quite a long time ago, but class is permanent, isn't it, Justin? Michele Paolucci certainly has plenty of that class.
Well, he's 37 years old, but he'll bring a vast of experience to the squad and just the aura. I mean, the players will probably look up to him, look at him as a mentor, go to him for advice, and admire probably the way he plays. And I think that's great for a club, especially in the USL too, where they can go to players and gain the advice from the experience that they've had throughout their professional career. And we're talking Juventus.
Yeah, that's exactly right. One of the biggest clubs in the world. Tonight's midfield lineup for Menace will be a pretty new one. Corey Cupid and Luis Maestre, normally wingbacks, they'll play in central midfield, and Brian Padilla will feature in place of an injured Riley Kraft in attacking midfield. So those are some things to look out for, but we'll take another quick break. Back in a moment as we near the opening whistle from Valley Stadium, only on CISN.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, it's Amanda with Holt's Plumbing and Heating. With inventory tight, Holt not only anticipated the need, but took the risk of stocking up on our most popular products. While our competitors scramble to find furnaces, air conditioners, and water heaters, we have plenty of stock, ready to be installed. Even though we have extra product, now we see demand at an all-time high. To sweeten the deal, we are also offering 0% financing on your new purchase. Just one more reason why more and more Central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
Hi, I'm Joe the car guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Welcome back to West Des Moines, where we're just about set for USL League 2 action between Des Moines Menace and FC Manitoba. Plenty of exciting storylines in this one, and chief among those for Menace is the ever closer goal of clinching the Deep North Division. If things go their way, they could be lined up to clinch the regular season title next week against Thunder Bay Chill, but they've got work to do tonight if they want to put the title on the line next week. One final pause for the national anthem, and Menace Soccer is your award for sticking around right here on CISN.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
Need orthopedic care today? DMOS Orthopedic Urgent Injury Clinics in Ankeny and West Des Moines are open 6 days a week. No appointment necessary. Our 2 convenient walk-in clinics offer you full access to dedicated orthopedic specialists. Wait times and costs are generally less than an ER visit. Check hours of operation and wait times instantly at DMOS.com. DMOS Urgent Injury Clinics in Ankeny and West Des Moines, helping you get back to living.
Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
The national anthems of Canada and the United States being played tonight, of course. Two different nations represented in tonight's USL League 2 contest, and we're delighted that you're here with us. Justin Forster and myself, Danny Cutula, with live commentary at Valley Stadium. Let's go ahead and bring you the starting lineups first for the visiting FC Manitoba out of Winnipeg in that Canadian province. In goal, you'll have Evan Barker from Winnipeg. Back line looks like it'll be Aaron Hidalgo Matze, Sergio Molina, and Enrique Garcia, the owner, in central defense, and Kevin Garrick rounding out the back line of four. Should be a 4-4-2 today. Zach Greenfield and David Chung are in central midfield. Manuel Reyes Delgado and Daniel Lopez are the outside midfielders. Up top, it's Ethan Cabral, the son of one of the head coaches, George Cabral of FC Manitoba. And rounding out the starting 11, the number 10, Diego Reveco, who got a brace in a substitute appearance a couple matches ago. Now he gets his chance with a start. Now let's bring you the starting 11, Justin, for your Menace.
In goals for the Menace is Grant Makela. From left to right at the back in the 3-4-1-2 system is Connor Langen, left centre back. The Jamaican Zeron Zewell is at centre back. Malik Smith right back. From left to right, a little bit of a change in the wing-back position. Wearing jersey number 23 is Neville Morgan. Corey Cupid is now playing inside as a central midfielder breaking. Corey Cupid, and to his right is Luis Maestre. Also wing-back has been switched to the inside, but just a little bit of a change-up from the coach, Coach Dean Johnson. And then out wide is the wing-back, number 13, Narcisco Cervantes. In front of them is the attacking midfielder, Brian Padilla, wearing jersey number 25. And up front, Alessandro Salvadego, wearing jersey number 11, a player to watch, very dangerous. And alongside him, wearing jersey number 15, Eduardo Deglia Nacento. How's my Italian there?
I think you're a proper Italian. You can move to Rome right now. As you can see, a lot of nations represented and a lot of quality in this side. You picked out Salvadego. 3 goals in just 4 matches and 2 starts. That's a man who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, and he scored multiple times in home matches here at Valley as well. Pride Night honoring the LGBTQIA plus community right here at Valley Stadium and right here on CISN via YouTube. Thanks so much for being here with us. Kickoff is moments away. Your referee crew, Tyler Turner, Sean Giza, and Aaron Valley, the assistants for him, and the 4th official on the sideline is Kevin Stapleford. It's Menace in their black kits. It is a Pride Night kit. It's special just for this match. They're available for purchase online and at the stadium, and we are underway. Menace moving from right to left on your screen, and from left to right, the visitors from north of the border. Smith has it early on. He'll play it back to Grant Makela, hailing from Destin, Florida. Played for Florida International there, was a Panther. And this is something we could see fairly often, is just this kind of controlled back passing play in defense. It's not necessarily something that Menace want to do all 90 minutes, and that's something that assistant coach Adam Kay mentioned to the players in training was they'll sit back and we want to make sure we can break their lines, but at the same time, this Menace side is a patient one, and they'll wait for a good opportunity rather than force a bad one.
Yeah, and I think it's just a matter of patience, to be honest with you, and not rush things and just get a feel of the ball. Momentum's going to be key here. Be patient. Get the goalkeeper on the ball as well. So Grant Makela, get him on the ball. At least give him a few touches with his feet while they spread around at the back.
Yeah, it's obviously super important to a goalkeeper to just have that bit of confidence, because sometimes, especially with a team like Menace who attack and have so much of the ball, for a guy like Makela, he's had to make a few important saves on the year, but there's sometimes where he'll go 45 minutes and not really have to make a save with his hands, so you want to make sure he gets the ball at his feet. And man, you just love to see and hear that crowd that's in your left-hand corner.
Well, the confidence is on a high right now with 7 goals in the last 2 games and conceding 1. So obviously Manitoba have done a bit of homework against the Menace, and knowing that they have drawn 0-0 previously, I mean, they're coming down here to get a result as well.
Yeah, lots of different strategies we've seen opponents come into away matches against Menace with here at Valley, and the most successful one, well, we haven't seen a truly successful one yet, but I think back to St. Croix in the opening home match of the season when Menace went 2-0 down to the boys from Minneapolis area and ended up winning that one 6-2 when they figured things out in the second half. But St. Croix did a good job of balancing good defending. That was their priority, and they had a couple pacey strikers when they did get on the ball. It was quick counterattacks, and they scored twice very quickly off of that. Maybe that's something that Manitoba will want to replicate tonight.
Well, so I think once the Menace figured out how to press and when to press in certain areas of the field, because there was a disconnect at that particular moment, but it's a different squad now. There's a rotation. All these players now pretty much trained and played together, so there's an understanding of the movements and the moments in the game.
Well, this one played out to the left by Eduardo Degli Innocenti. He was looking for the run of Narciso Cervantes, but that didn't quite pan out. So that'll lead to a Manitoba throw, and neither side really dominating possession early on. Manitoba now going to deal with a little bit of Menace pressure, and Menace do this high press better than just about anybody in USL League 2, certainly the best that we've seen in the Deep North Division of the Central Conference this year. That's a great tackle, and now coming the other way with it. Could be numbers. Is he onside? No, he's not. It's a brilliant layoff, but it doesn't matter. Assistant referee on the far side will raise his flag. Offside. First such offense of the night.
It was marginal. I think he was offside just by a boot length. But as we have a look here again, well one out there on the far right by Cervantes. And as the ball came in slightly left, but you could see it was just marginal. The AR had a better angle on that actually.
Yeah, it's always difficult from our position as commentators. We think we see one thing, and of course the assistant is placed where he is for a reason, but awfully close that time. This one headed away nicely by the big man in central defense, Zeron Sewell. And now in midfield, a chance for Menace to win the ball back. They can't quite hold on to possession. Running down the left, trying to chase this one down is Diego Reveco. Striker with Chilean heritage, but grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Also played with C.A. Pantoja in the Dominican Republic. So he's been all around the world playing this beautiful game. Left side, Reveco again. Was looking for the run of Ethan Cabral in midfield, but too many bodies and black jerseys in the way.
It's great to see different cultures and experiences from international levels brought to the USL too, right in front of our eyes here as well. And I think it just brings a wealth of experience and for the young players to learn off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only good for the development of these players of this level of play. The American game as a whole is on the right side. That's Malik Smith on the ball. And this is played to Grant Makela. Makela left side of his box. He'll advance a bit and just test how far Manitoba are willing to come out of their shape. It's a very organized 4-4-2 for the most part. Sometimes that midfield four can look more like a diamond, where all four of them are more or less in central midfield, but Delgado and Lopez can certainly get outside on the wing and cause trouble with their pace. A nice header, and Degli Innocenti is so close to latching onto it, but instead cleared away by Manitoba. Makela will possess that one.
Notice how Manitoba just hold off. They wait for the moment to press as a unit. As Zeron plays the ball out to the left-hand side. And this is the time where they look to break. Just a slight miscue there by Malik.
Well, now here's Neville Morgan down the left side into the corner. Played in from the left flank. Not a bad idea to the near post, but no one there to latch onto it. It's out for a corner kick, first of the night for Menace. And I mean, it's very interesting to see a guy like Malik Smith. He's a center back by trade, doesn't get forward a whole lot, but when he does, like you saw there as he played that ball
it was
to
lucky
Neville
there.
Morgan.
He was lucky because he hit the turf as well.
Lucky not to lose it in that area of the pitch. Can be a bit dangerous, and without Riley Kraft, it's going to be the midfielder who was previously wingback, Luis Maestre. He'll play it in the middle, and this header glances the opposite direction. Coming up to find it. That's Sewell, and he couldn't hold on. It will go out of play, and it touched Menace last. Throw in for Manitoba. And looks like going to take it is Aaron Hidalgo Matse, who can play in midfield or on the back line like he does tonight. Looks like he's being deputized.
I like the way that Menace actually set up off the ball, because you can see defensively if the ball's on the far side of the field, Neville Morgan shifts into a left back position. and he springs out. He's really quick springing out into the wide areas as soon as there's a transition from defending to attacking. And same on the other side with Cervantes. Cervantes sometimes tucks in and gives a little extra support for Luis Maestro and Corey Cupid.
Could have been an opportunity to break against the run of play for Ethan Cabral, but he was offside. So one flag from each assistant referee so far. Stays 0-0, of course. 8th minute of play, and neither side have really dominated necessarily, but Menace looked like the more likely to spring an attack. Sewell will filter it outside. Left side, Malik Smith, the Liberty Flame who graduated last year. This one sent a little bit wide of his target. Neville Morgan, the Jamaican. And it's this pressure from Menace again. Salvadego this time on the left side. Send it back to Barker between the sticks wearing purple for Manitoba. He will clear that one away, but not successfully. Out for a Menace throw.
It's the second time they've looked for that diagonal out to the far side on the left-hand side.
Sewell on the ball again. Expect him to have a lot of the ball, and it's because of passes that he can ping like that.
Sewell's got great technique and texture on the ball. He can ping it. He just punches the ball into areas. He can switch plays, strong presence. He can tackle, but he always wants to get on the ball. As soon as Makala gets on the ball, he wants it off him.
Absolutely, and what a big frame he's got too. Very difficult to navigate around, and he's got some speed to go with that strength as well. Here's Neville Morgan to throw it in long. It's a little bit inside, but a headed touch from Deglino Centi. That one's cleared away as well by Manitoba. Now Connor Langan gets on the ball. First time we mentioned his name. Petersfield, England native. Played for the Missouri State Bears. A 5-year starter and never transferred. That's something you don't see a whole lot in this day and age of college athletics. Really found a home at Missouri State. Aside Smith. Morgan takes a player on and couldn't quite beat him, but forces another throw. That was Daniel Lopez, who did a really good job in right midfield to keep that from being anything worse. Here's a good ball, but nobody there to get onto the end of it. Salvadego tried a ball across the center of the box. Right side, Cervantes. Plays it to midfield now. Corey Cupid. Left side, Morgan. Morgan will take his player on. This time he'll get past him. Crosses into the middle, a low ball. In the area, a couple of touches. Surely a shot, nothing. Is able to be dispatched from Menace, and they'll try again. Back to the drawing board. Oh, and that's a bad giveaway. Coming the other way, Manitoba with an opportunity. This one's sent out to the right side. It's a great ball, and is it going to find Diego de Veco? It will, and now top of the box, Reveco moves it out to the left side. Reyes Delgado, he'll have a shot, and it really wasn't too far away. On the stroke of 10 minutes, another opportunity for Manitoba. Menace are not impenetrable necessarily.
Well, it just goes to show it's gone end-to-end. Manitoba counter-attacking off a clearly really good chance. Didn't quite pay off for the Menace. I believe it was Deliacenti who actually got the ball stuck under his feet. And there was a really good opportunity. But what I have noticed here with Manitoba, off the ball, they're playing a very tight midfield, and they shift across to one end, keeping it really, really tight and compact. But the Menace are able to switch it, as you can see here, into space. And by doing this and shifting their midfield could tire them out. But I think Manitoba need to be a little more organized in stopping the Menace from switching the point of attack.
Well, a challenge for the ball there goes the way of FC Manitoba. In midfield, that's Zach Greenfield who wins the ball back on a foul. And so Manitoba try to take it quickly. The referee said no to that. We'll try it again. We'll see this challenge once more. It's right there. It's actually going to be Reyes Delgado who takes that challenge from Deglino Centi, and referee decides it's an illegal one. Backline Barker again. Graduate of the University of New Brunswick, played for the Reds down there. Up there, I guess, would be more accurate, and Manitoba. And the ball, Sewell again. Smith, left side of defense. Morgan in midfield, tried the ball across, and that was unsuccessful.
The space was quickly closed down there.
Yeah, as
by
you mentioned,
Daniel Lopez.
Manitoba really like to cut down those spaces in midfield. That's usually where Menace can find a lot of joy, and especially with those wingbacks turned central midfielders, Maestre and Q, but they love to get on the ball and get forward, something Manitoba's not allowing them to do early on.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the square ball. It's got to be angles on the ball, especially in tight situations like that where Manitoba can win it and spring a counter attack.
Let's see if there's a counter attack on offer here.
And there's the switch I was talking about.
Lots of space to the left, and this is Morgan. He's seen a lot of the ball. Can he beat his marker again? Yes, he can. He's got space for a cross. He'll play it in. It's a dangerous service, but still no goal. Other side, Cervantes. In midfield, chance for Maestre. He can't hold on to the ball, and coming the other way, here come Manitoba. It has been end-to-end early on. Reveco leaves it off. Cabral now. Back for Reveco. Left side. Lopez looking to find a runner in midfield, and that did not quite pan out. Cleared away for a Manitoba throw deep in their attacking territory.
And that was Neville Morgan clearing the ball, but he goes down injured. But he's already proved he's gone past Daniel Lopez twice, so the matchup is in his favor as far as pace goes. He whipped in a beautiful left-footed cross, but nobody was on the end of it earlier.
Yeah, absolutely right. He's had a couple of crosses that have come into dangerous areas, and it's been the story of the season for Menace, is just trying to find ways to finish chances that they create, because they create oh so many.
And that wing back position is critical. You're up and down the field. You've got to be so fit. And Neville's down. Just, I don't know, it seems the referee has told, Riley has told the physio just to stay. He seems to be okay.
Yeah, you certainly hope that he'll be able to carry on as long as possible as Makala makes a diving catch.
It's always good for the goalkeeper like Makala to, or any goalkeeper, make a good save out of the air, even if it's simple, boost the confidence.
Makala, goalkeeper, is so hard to get by, great reflexes, but at the end of the day, it's just pure size that helps him out quite a bit. 6'5", 200 pounds even. That's a lot of space to occupy the goal with. He's played in 6 matches of 8 for Menace this season. All 6 have been starts. Of course, keep in mind he had a red card in the first match of the season that forced him to miss match day 2, the first match here at home. Joey Petroni is shown to be a perfectly fit substitute as well. As we will see a free kick, Diego Reveco goes down. And about 30 yards away from goal. Potentially shooting range, but if you're a coach, I think, or a fan, you want to see this ball go into the box. When you're the man who's about to take that free kick, maybe your eyes are seeing a slightly larger goal than the rest of us are.
Potentially, I think it could be a strike on goal, unless they've got a few tricks up their sleeve from the training ground. But as you see the foul there, Reveco is brought down. In my English terms, I'll get used to it by the end of the game. I promise you, Danny. And it looks like they'll go direct to goal.
Yeah, not a whole lot of players forward for a pass, so this shot does go, and it took a wicked deflection. Sometimes those can just die down. And
referee's given another free kick because it came off
a handball.
It came off the elbow of
Salvadego there.
Salvadego.
Interesting. Would have been a corner in any case, but I think most teams will take a close free kick rather than a corner because you do have that shooting threat.
And Riley Turner's decided it is a handball.
Tough to see how quick it's going. I mean, I think it's pretty clear it touches his hand, but the conversation around, what's whistled as a handball is, is it hand-to-ball contact? Is the hand in an unnatural position? There's so many things at play. That was, as a referee myself, that was never one of the calls that I liked to make.
His hand just came above his head.
Yeah,
if he went down holding his head, maybe he could have got away with it. But this is a goal-scoring range, that's for sure.
Well, 17th minute, good a time as any for Manitoba to steal a goal against the run of play. It will be Reveco. Score of 2 goals on the year. He'll try to go for a third. Makala punches away. A second effort is whiffed. Still in the area. Plenty of players forward in white. Partially cleared. Headed back into the fray. And Menace do finally deal with it. We'll see if they can get back on the ball. Flying challenge. And that was always going to be ill-advised.
I tell you what, Grant Makala did really well with that because the ball was whipped in with the right foot and dipping, got his fist to it. He got a bit of range on it. Lucky it went to a couple of teammates who had managed to clear the lines. But it was a dangerous situation.
Yeah, it certainly was. Speaking of dangerous situations, Narciso Cervantes gives away the free kick on, what could have been considered a high kick. In any case, it's a free kick, which would negate that. This free kick is a little bit less dangerous compared to the previous one, and that'll make a goal kick the result.
Yeah, three free kicks consecutively. They've got to keep the discipline the Menace have. At the minute, just make sure they're a little more contained, but you know how it is. 17 minutes into the game, it's still rush of blood to the head as they look to switch play. What a ball there by
Deglino Centi himself.
Deglino Centi, yeah. Great switch of play.
Excellent switch. Doesn't come to anything, but Menace hold on to possession. And as I say that, referees get together and decide that was over the touchline. So at about midfield on the far side, we'll see a throw-in for Manitoba.
The vision on Deglino Centi was unbelievable. Got it on his right foot, drove it across the field.
Yeah, the vision, and then on top of that, the technique, the skill to be able to do that inch perfect. That's one of the things that, you just look at and you say, even after, years of playing at a professional level, how do you consistently find yourself able to do that? Impressive.
And
Morgan.
You know what? They keep working at it and getting better. It never stops. At training early, putting in the graft, after training, putting in the graft. That's what it's all about. The Menace are having some success on the in the wide areas on both sides of the field, but I feel if Neville Morgan getting forward and running at Lopez, I think that matchup is eventually Lopez will get worn out because he's not having any cover come across from one of his central midfielders, you see.
Throw in from Brian Padilla. And now it's Cupid moving all the way forward. This is Morgan. Morgan will have a go from distance. That's not a bad effort at all. And in the end, it took a touch. So out for another Menace corner. Luis Maestre will go over to do the honors. Yeah, not a bad effort from there at all, Justin. And, when it's been such a match where Manitoba have tried to pack the box in, when you have a shot like this, might as well have a go.
Yeah, why not? He had enough space in front of him. He's left-footed on his left foot. Have a go. He gets a corner out of it. And now you're in a situation where you can score.
Maestre looking to turn that into a reality. Played it at the center of the box. Couple of heads there. Still in the area. Takes a bounce off the turf. Still being headed around. And Manitoba find a way to clear. And snuff out the counterattack. Excellent work that time by Sewell. And coming the other way. A chance for Morgan. He'll drop it back. And Connor Langen's on the ball.
That was well played. Defensively in transition, Menace sprung to that, won the ball, now keep it. That's really, really good defending because Manitoba will clear.
Maestre. It's a ball long for the target man. Salvadego was looking for Brian Padilla, but that one out of play. So Padilla to throw it in. Maestre again. Spaniard plays it. Salvadego, this ball is through, and it's an incisive one. Deglino Centi goes for goal from a difficult angle. I don't know if that was the play that time.
That was a great ball, actually, from Brian Padilla. What a great ball, splitting the two center backs in between, just slightly. The movement was slightly off. Had to double take from inside to outside. Deglino Centi. I'm getting it right, mate. Getting it right.
No,
I'm getting there.
Last two times especially.
Oh, it's perfect.
I'll have to have him give us a crash course on it sometime. Just feel like, hey, Edo, stop training. We gotta get your name right.
I don't want to be disrespectful to his name, and I'm going to get it right. Don't worry about that.
Plenty of time for that, of course. 70 minutes still to play.
He's been on the ball enough, hasn't he?
He has, and he's had a lot.
Yep.
Of opportunities on the ball as well, as we'll see a throw in for Menace in the attacking half. He's one of those players who just hasn't really seen, the chance that it feels like he deserves. He's played in 5 matches, this being his 6th, but only making his 3rd start. He's got that one goal that we mentioned to the Open from the Peoria match.
Yeah, let's talk about Brian Padilla. He's played another crafty ball with the outside of his foot, splitting the defenders. If he's not picked up tightly, he's going to be creative for the Menace, and he's going to make something happen. I like the organization, though, the Menace, how they quickly make it as compact as possible at the back. The the wing backs are slotting in at the back and just keeping it really, really organized. Because Manitoba, I mean, they are absolutely flying right now as far as the way they organized and going forward.
How about a shot from Reveco on the half volley? That's not a bad effort. It's not quite strong enough to beat Makela.
Just off the side of his foot. He was leaning back, but again, on the far side, they managed to split the Menace out wide with a perfect delivery. Delivery was fantastic, actually, into the middle. I mean, it's been great so far. Hasn't been boring for our viewers, that's for sure. It's been end to end.
And really quality stuff from Manitoba. It's not the WSA Winnipeg that we've seen from prior years, as that ball was a dangerous one, but the run was just beyond the last defender from Edoardo Degli Innocenti. Hailing from Livorno, Italy, but a little bit closer to Menace more recently. Plays with the Iowa Western Reavers out there in Council Bluffs near Omaha. So he's not a stranger to the Hawkeye State.
Eduardo actually, he went a little bit too early. His timing was off on the run. He should have checked back again or bent his run out, but he went really early. He wanted it first time, actually.
Cervantes plays it into midfield. Innocenti tried to get on it, but instead Menace will try and move it out to the left side. Neville Morgan picks it up, but it's out of play, so a Manitoba throw via Kevin Garrich. Actually, they might call upon Daniel Lopez to take it, originally from Honduras, but lives in Brandon, Manitoba now, outside of Winnipeg. Played for the Brandon University Bobcats there for his college soccer. Now coming the other way, a chance off an error in possession for Manitoba. Ooh, taken down, but there's no mercy from the referee. Coming the other way, here's Manitoba trying to take advantage. Cabral will play it back, and Manitoba will recycle. Cabral again, that's an excellent tackle. Wins the ball cleanly. Cervantes does, and now the favor is returned by Ethan Cabral, and a chance for Menace to start over now on this left side where they've had a lot of quality. But they'll move it out to the right. Again, that switch of play, and it all runs through Big Z, as they call him, the man in the center of that defensive back three. Corey Cupid on the ball from Trinidad and Tobago. Smith. Morgan.
I like that ball in by Morgan, just playing it to the opposite foot of the defending player coming in, and just manages to turn out. I do like the matchups in the midfield. I think Menace are now beginning to gain a momentum and some superiority in the overloads. I do like the way that Luis Maestro works his way in between the lines into the half space on the half turn to receive the ball. You'll notice that a couple of times.
Padilla, he'll have a go from distance, and that's not far away by much, just over the bar. And again, in that area of the pitch, in this type of match, that's one that I don't mind somebody taking from there.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're given the opportunity with time and space.
I think it's Maestre who's hit it in the end. But you'll see it again, the build-up play. It's 1, 2, 3 passes. It's so quick, and it is Padilla. Thrown off by the camera there, but yeah, that's just over the bar.
Some distance from there. That just goes to show the confidence in Padilla.
There you are. Padilla's got quite the story.
Spanish, man. Huh? Aren't you glad you took Spanish?
I certainly am.
Fluent in Spanish.
Certainly
yeah,
am.
That's brilliant. It's great to do that. I did a bit of French though in school. It was writing it that was difficult.
Oh, yeah, well, and for me, a lot of times it's the pronunciation of French can be difficult.
Yeah, and the accents, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That and Portuguese are very similar in that way. With Spanish, it's helpful because I can more or less read a lot of those similar languages, but when it comes to the pronunciation, the vowels, they can trip you up.
Some great skill there by Zeron Sewell, the center back for the Des Moines Menace, just finding a way out to switch play, so confident on the ball.
Sewell on the ball again. Feels like he always is. Connor Langen with it. Cervantes usually plays in central midfield, but he's a right wing back today, and he's moving with the ball now. Chance to play it through. And is this one onside? Yes, it is. Potentially across from the goal line. It's played in, aerial ball, and nobody's there. Second effort, Morgan. He'll have a crack. Tried to find that near top corner, but just a little bit off target, and that's been the story of this first half.
Morgan appealing for a corner, didn't quite happen. He was appealing, but the ref was right in front of him. Riley Turner indicating a goal kick. He just slightly mishit that. He was actually leaning away from the ball when he struck it.
Enrique Garcia on the ball now. And again, we mentioned it before, but he is the owner of the team, bought it in 2020, of course, right before COVID-19 changed the reality of soccer clubs across the world. Garcia is still the owner and still playing for this side, and not doing half bad of a job either there in central defense. He's had plenty to do so far.
Well, he's a leader, isn't he? So he's leading from an organization. He owns his own business out there in Manitoba. He's bringing in the players, notably one, Paolucci on the bench. You spoke about him earlier. He probably needs a break. He played for Juventus. He's 37 years old. And how much was his transfer fee at the time?
It was almost $4 million, and back in 2009, that was no small fee.
We could all do with that today.
I surely could.
But I'm quite happy the way I am right now.
Me too, me too. Right side. A little bit of hold-up play that time from Salvador. Oh, and that midfield ball
into Maestri.
Yeah, couldn't quite find the Spaniard Maestre that time. Hails from Elche, Maestre does. Played for the Elche Academy and played his college soccer in Charleston, West Virginia with the Golden Eagles. As we'll see a foul in that same area that we did a moment ago, kind of a chain of 3 straight free kicks, and it started in an area like this.
Yeah, they just got to be really, really cautious because they don't. Already, Manitoba have already proved that they've got players that can strike a ball from distance. As you have a look at this, it's a good ball played in. Reveco's got enough space. Again, you didn't have to dive in. Cover was coming to the right-hand side of Malik Smith. It would have been taken care of, but again, it's just a rush of blood to the head. They've just got to be really careful of giving away free kicks in dangerous areas.
Does seem to be where Menace can be a bit more susceptible on their back line is in those one-on-one situations. As Reveco will take the free kick that he earned, and it took some doing from Grant Makela to keep that one out of the back of the net.
Makela did well with the sun in his eyes there. You know, so handled it well. He's a good goalkeeper. Only conceded 1 goal in the last 2 games, but look at the space on the far side here. Cooper could switch the ball quickly into Luis. Didn't quite connect with that one. Should have maybe gone out wide to Connor Langen to get him involved in the game going forward.
Yeah, he's certainly capable
you
of
can see
that.
how the game's opening up in the wide areas, that's for sure.
Menace win the ball back on this left side. Trying to open up a bit more of that space that you speak about, Justin. Neville Morgan's on the ball. And it's back to Makela. And these are just 2 of the 4 Menace Pride kits in 2022. Grant Makela wearing the pink. I've got a blue one myself, and it's one of my favorite jerseys right now. As this one's sent into the area, and it's bounced over the keeper, Barker. And how about this? Potentially a penalty shout as a stray arm came out from, I believe, Molina.
It was a goalkeeper error, definitely.
And so while we get a chance for Alessandro Salvadego to get some treatment, it'll be a chance for everybody to take a break. We'll have a mandated hydration break, according to the center referee. We'll stick with you right here. 30th minute. You see that? It just goes over the outstretched hand of Evan Barker.
He caught an elbow there from, I believe it was Enrique.
I think you're right. Garcia that time. Yeah, Barker, 38 saves on the year coming into tonight. He's had plenty of work to do this season. He's conceded 10 goals in 6 matches. He's got 1 clean sheet to speak of. He signed with Valor FC of the Canadian Premier League back in May, but now he's here with FC Manitoba.
And again, that's the bounce. The bounce on the turf is so different to grass. You know, if you don't get it right, things like that are going to happen. But I think he had cover with Enrique, which was no problem at all. If we have a look at this again here.
That's a good ball. We mentioned Connor Langen a moment ago, and there he is, playing provider right there. Yeah, Garcia. I think Salvadego's looking to make something of that, but man, if Garcia keeps his arm out a little bit longer, maybe extends it a bit farther, that's a potentially really dangerous error.
Yeah, he was looking for it, that's for sure. Most definitely. There's no doubt that he'll be back on the park. As you can see, the Menace substitutes warming up in the background.
Yeah, it looks like Salvadego will be fit to carry on. He's there at midfield, just about to be entered back into this one. See a picture of him there. He did take the knock to his face, but he's a tough lad, and looks like he'll be able to carry on for Menace.
You know, sometimes when the goalkeepers are coming out for a ball like that, that's bouncing in front of you, in your peripheral, you're seeing players coming in, so you hesitate a little bit, and then situations like that happen.
Yeah, that's right. Thankfully, it doesn't result in any type of score change, and now we'll have a throw-in for Manitoba on the far side. Referee will hold this one up and just have Manitoba move back a bit before they take that one. That's Aaron Hidalgo Matsei from Winnipeg. Played with the Real Salt Lake Academy growing up and played his college soccer for Saskatchewan, USask as they call them, the Huskies. Left midfielder by trade, but we've seen him on this back line a couple of times for Manitoba as well. And this one sent long, and no one there to receive it in white. Nice turn by Corey Cupid, but Neville Morgan wasn't ready to receive that ball, so now a chance for Manitoba, overloading 3 players down the right wing, but over all of them was that ball down the right. So a throw in for Menace. They get off a bit fortunate.
Yeah, that was well read by Daniel Lopez, stepping in to win the ball. Didn't quite get the ball that he wanted from Ethan Cabral. At the end of the day, it was overhit. I would have been a little bit frustrated with that, as you can see the Menace on the far side there with Padilla.
This one's onside. Padilla will play it back. Maestre takes a few touches. He'll move back out to the right side at the end of it. Played a ball through Cervantes, and now it's cleared away by Manitoba.
That first-time ball there by Brian Padilla, fantastic. It wasn't read into the feet. It was, I believe it might have been Cupid that was caught off guard there, possibly, but wasn't read well. But those are that's how he plays. He's playing the first-time ball, and you've got to be able to read that. He plays on the half turn. He checks his shoulder all the time. I see a player's gone down.
Yeah, Corey Cupid will play it out to the right side, and Connor Langan looks like he'll hold this play up for the injured Manitoba man to get some treatment. Not sure quite who that is. Could be Reveco. But Reveco's been on the floor a couple of times, as he's one of those more crafty attacking players. Makes you think of a Jack Grealish in the Premier League, just with that first touch he has on the dribble. He goes forward, but he almost kind of sidesteps before he makes that forward move.
Just with the ball glued to his feet as he's moving with it, just gliding with it. But, you know, going back to number 25 for the Menace, Padilla, his vision is fantastic. He sees the pass first time, and I think it's just getting other players on the same page as him. That connection and the combinations, I think, will start working. If they can get that right, they'll find the third man running into the box. I mean, they're coming close, that's for sure, and it will take one to open it up.
Padilla's got a lot of quality. He's played in 2 matches after signing mid-season from Denton Diablos. Is this one onside? Assistant referee says no. Oh, but it's just a little bit too much power to keep it in play. Degli Innocenti was the man chasing it down, and that'll make it a goal kick. Less than 10 minutes of regular time in the first half, and Menace still with no goal to show for some good attacking play.
Degli Innocenti, he just darts off into the space. He's so quick working off the shoulders, and you know, if you don't play that ball in time, he's going to be offside. But he just proved there again with his movements of the blindside shoulders of the defenders.
Well, as a freshman last year, Degli Innocenti scored 4 goals, and that was from 9 shots. So he's pretty efficient when he does get in front of goal. That was with Iowa Western last year. He's also played with 6 different clubs in Serie A of the Italian league system. And now, how about this ball played around the right? Liga plays it into the middle, and no one's there. Is it still in play along the goal line? No, it's not. Assistant referee signals that, so out for a goal kick. And again, it just feels like it's a few inches away from that opener.
Yeah, it is. And again, that was well read. The timing of the movement, stepping in. It was a bad ball by Manitoba across the box. And I believe that was Cervantes on the far side, who stepped in there to win it and then played the combination, the give and go there with Delicento. But just didn't quite get onto it. I mean, maybe a driven ball, and he tried to just be a little bit cute by dinking it over the top, looking for someone on the far post. Maybe just drive the ball across.
Here's a ball that's driven across, as you say, but it's for Manitoba this time. They can't connect on that one. And Makalo will boot that one clear. Throw in for Manitoba to come.
Well, that was going to be hard for Diego. I mean, the cover was there. You had Zeron, you had Malik, and then you had Neville Morgan, the three of them against the one. You could tell he was never going to win that.
Really nice defending in midfield from Maestre, and now on the ball, Deglino Centi, some nice skill. Maestre with it, takes a couple of touches. Deglino Centi with the back heel. He's pulling out all the moves, but isn't able to get past his marker after all of that.
I think that's a bit too much, because you do something like that, a little back heel, you're catching your team out of position, and then you've got to get organized again. And again, Manitoba had space, but luckily in transition, some of the Menace players managed to get back, and they didn't manage to penetrate.
Makalov's on the ball. He'll hold on to it for a while and now play it out to Langen. Cupid. Langen again. He likes this long ball, and S will release Salvadego. It's not quite going to find him. Padilla on the second opportunity is taken down. And really, I think that's going to be Hidalgo Matse who takes the brunt of the challenge, but he initiated the contact. That's really the worst of both worlds, is when you kind of take the crunch of that tackle and you give away the foul as well.
And that's the worst feeling ever, is when you go into a tackle knowing you're going to not win the ball, and then you get in situations like that and you end up being hurt, as you can see here. This is the ball that was cleared by Enrique at the back, ball-taking header.
Yeah,
just a little bit late in there, just lashing out at Padilla.
Padilla won the free kick, and now it's taken by Langen. Played into the box and dangerous, but Evan Barker rises highest among the players in the box to claim that one.
Barker did really, really well. His timing was good, just came out to snatch it. It was kind of just dropping into his hands, and he just towered over the attacking player from the Menace.
Not a bad ball from Hidalgo Matse that time on the left side of attack for Manitoba, but first touch wasn't good enough. And now Menace back with it. Morgan plays it into midfield. Maestre has space, but it's closed down quickly. Gets pushed. He'll stay on his feet and nearly goes down a couple of times. Now we'll lose the ball, but it's out off of Manitoba. Last Zach Greenfield makes sure of that. Throw in Des Moines.
Maestre did really, really well. They're holding onto the ball, that low sense of gravity and weaving and driving, managing to turn his defenders.
Yeah, so many crafty players. And when you look at the dribbling and the passing skill, those 1-2 movement plays, there's just so much talent in this Menace team.
Lots of flair and ability, potential, but also knowing when to keep the ball, when to release it. And I think that's really, really important, having those types of players in there. As you see, Maestri just intercepting the pass in space, and that would be offside, but intercepting the pass, and he's in the right areas, because most of possessions won now is just by marking space and intercepting passes.
Yeah, Maestre has done a really good job of that in defensive midfield. Only 5'10", 165 pounds, one of the smaller players on this Menace roster. Not necessarily scrawny by any means, but it's a big Menace side in more ways than one, physically being one of those. Maestre not the biggest, but certainly got that IQ that you mentioned and that ability to cut out passing lanes. He's shown that on multiple occasions in his 4 matches this year.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with them. Him and Cupid have done really well today in the midfield. They normally play in the wide areas as wing backs, but coming into central midfield, they've combined well, and they're working really well together. And they're just making sure the space in between them is just appropriate enough so they can combine. We'll switch play. And then when transition breaks down and they lose possession, they're close enough together to tuck in and just close down space.
This one played by Sewell, and he'll get it back. Instantly move it out to the right. Langen. Cervantes. Los Angeles native plays it forward, and he'll get it back from Corey Cupid. Cervantes moves it to the left this time. Neville Morgan. Morgan has beaten his defender a couple of times, and he'll do it again. He's got plenty of space now. He'll whip in across. Players in the area, but deflected at the edge of the box. A little bit handsy there, but Manitoba get away with it. Just enough of a push to win the ball back, but not enough for the referee to blow his whistle. Left side Cabral, and he's looking to find his striker, Diego Reveco, but It's going to fall into the hands of Grant Makela anyway, and even outside of that, it was over the touchline for a throw-in, which Cervantes will now take.
Lopez gave Neville Morgan like 10 yards of space to attack him. You just can't do that. He's so quick. He'll just glide past you. I think Morgan needs to do better with his delivery. He's got to beat the first defender. Maybe even cut in more, take it to the byline, because I think he had the ability there to beat Enrique, who came across to cover. He's got the pace. He's got a lovely left foot, as he's proved earlier. But, Danny, it's been proven that this near side towards the Menace left-hand side is pretty dangerous as far as their attacks go.
Salvadego plays it out left. It's deflected, but still finds Morgan. Morgan looks to the middle this time. It's a give and go. We'll get it back outside. Plays in across. Back post. And the run was perfectly timed. The jump, not so.
Not so. I mean, just missed time. Not enough players in the box, but a lovely little combination there. And I didn't think Morgan was going to get there, but he did. He was so quick getting there. Molina wasn't quick enough to come across and cover. And again, danger on this near side to us.
Headed away for now, and Maestre will move it farther forward with his head after Langen had the initial headed clearance. Winning the ball back, a couple of players in black are able to put pressure on the ball and win it back. Corey Cupid gets forward quickly, and he's got Morgan running to his left. They've used him a lot. This time they'll go the other direction in midfield. Padilla.
The switch is on here. Now it's 2v1 overloads, and this is where it's dangerous.
Cupid will play it down the middle, and it's a great run. A one-on-one chance. Can they finish here? No. It's just on the wrong side of that near post. My goodness, how close can you get? And Salvadego's frustrated, rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Salvadego took his first touch away from goal. Could have taken, and it's just a missed touch. It's just that slight missed touch here. But what a ball played in. You know, with Neville Morgan moving down the left-hand side, they thought it was going there. Great running, but his first touch just goes away. A little bit of a bounce. Cover came across. Keeper had the near post narrowed. The angle was off. And there was no support in the box anyway if it was driven across the goalkeeper.
It's that type of ball in that you see, you know, usually only in FIFA. That lobbed through ball with
Yeah.
such precision. And Corey Cupid looking like a video game character right now.
But I can see Salvadego's frustration because he knows he should have done better. And he's frustrated because he's scored some great goals so far this season.
Now, one of the more consistent scorers is, we'll see an injury on the far left side of your screen, and again, it looks like it's going to be Reveco. Menace training staff come out to try and help him.
Reveco, I wonder if they'll just wait, obviously, till half-time. We're coming up to half-time plus referee's time.
He can carry off through that stoppage time, as you mentioned. If he can carry on in those last, few minutes, I wouldn't think it'd be anything past 2 or 3. And you can get him to halftime and then make that halftime switch. Yeah, he's certainly taken a beating tonight.
Well, if there's any extra time, it's all on Reveco.
That's true.
Because he's really been the only one down.
And really, it's been, fairly fluid as far as the run of play. Not a whole lot of stoppages. Really just those couple of injuries for Reveco that he's been able to carry on from. And then he had Neville Morgan hit the floor earlier on as well for Menace.
Again, they were looking for that long ball, but it's well read at the back with Molina and Garcia. They just dropped off.
Parija.
Parija, easy one to deal with.
Morgan again, plays it back, midfield. Malik Smith. Smith with a long ball and just not on the same page with Cervantes, who was forward that time, but didn't quite make the run that was expected of him. Well, we've already played 1 minute of added time. And when we know about the full length of the referee's decision, we will let you know as well. But into the 47th minute of play here, coming to the end of the first half. Still 0-0 between FC Manitoba and Des Moines Menace. Only time that Des Moines have been kept off the scoreboard this season, it's worth reminding you, has been against FC Manitoba. That was back at Ralph Cantafio Soccer Complex in Winnipeg. 4 minutes of added time, and we've played almost half of that by now. We'll get to the 49th minute on your screen. And in the meantime, Manitoba inside the box with a touch was Reveco, and he was so close to finding the first goal for Manitoba, and now nearly an error at the back on the other side. That's how quickly things have changed.
Well, I tell you what,
match. Oh, Malik
Smith is counting his lucky stars there because Lopez was in on the far post. Luckily, he didn't connect that.
Yeah, very fortunate.
It's not something that the Menace want to do before half.
Yeah, usually they're the side that tends to score first as Manitoba see one of their own on the ground. This time it's not Reveco, I don't believe. It's I think that's David Chung in midfield who's holding his upper back. Looks like he'll be able to carry on though. Left central midfielder, played with the Canadian U15s and the FC Edmonton Academy. FC Edmonton, a club in the professional Canadian Premier League. This was that back pass that nearly found a very lucky Alessandro Salvadego, but it didn't quite. The Belluno, Italy native, wasn't far away, but Chung, as we mentioned, 5 matches this season, 3 yellow cards on the year, one of the more booked players for Manitoba this season. Hails from his local Winnipeg.
Well, I tell you what, that was Ziron Sewell that absolutely went straight through Chung. I tell you what, he's one player I wouldn't want coming through me, that's for sure, in a challenge.
No, me either. It takes a pretty special kind of person to go into a challenge with Sewell knowing that could be the outcome. Certainly no fun to be on the wrong end of that challenge. Into the 49th and what we expect to be the last minute of the first half. Left side, Manitoba again getting forward and trying to gear up for one last attack. Left side, can they get the give and go? No, it's a little bit too long of a pass. And Menace will have a goal kick. You wonder if they'll try to take it quickly and get forward, try to find a first half stoppage time goal like they've done multiple times. They've done it at home, they've done it away. It doesn't feel like they're the more likely to score, at least in the last couple of minutes.
I think they would like to take this into half time, but maybe go for one as they look to stretch the line here.
Blanket switches the play, but not quite outside enough for the run of Alessandro Salvadego. So the seconds tick away, and Manitoba are perfectly content to take their time. They would certainly love to go into halftime at 0-0, and I think they'd be awfully pleased to go into full time at 0-0 as well.
Yeah, I think both teams have been a little bit direct in moments of the game.
Well, there you go.
Just a little bit of a change there.
45 moments of the game are gone and 45 still to come. No score here between Des Moines Menace and the visiting FC Manitoba. Those fans have not been treated to any goals yet, but they could be coming. Halftime coverage is next. Don't go away right here on CISN.
Joints are keeping you from what you really want to do. Whether it's playing with your kids, golfing on the weekends, or dancing with your spouse on date night, DMOS can help. Des Moines Orthopedic Surgeons. DMOS, a nationally recognized team of orthopedic specialists, can help make it happen. Rated among the state's best for joint replacement surgery, DMOS offers the Metro's most comprehensive range of play-restoring orthopedic services, from sports medicine, urgent injury, to physical therapy. At DMOS, we're ready to help you get back to living. Learn more at dmos.com.
Hi, it's Amanda with Holt's Plumbing and Heating. With inventory tight, Holt not only anticipated the need, but took the risk of stocking up on our most popular products. While our competitors scramble to find furnaces, air conditioners, and water heaters, we have plenty of stock, ready to be installed. Even though we have extra product, now we see demand at an all-time high. To sweeten the deal, we are also offering 0% financing on your new purchase. Just one more reason why more and more Central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
It takes a village to empower a young person to achieve their full potential. Yet today in America, 1 in 3 kids are growing up without a mentor. Together, we can change this. You can be that someone for a young person by becoming a mentor. Join the village. Big brothers, big sisters. Become a big today.
Midway through tonight's USL League 2 contest between FC Manitoba and the league-leading Des Moines Menace. Right now, nothing to separate the two sides. It's exactly the same scoreline we had just a couple of weeks ago up in Winnipeg. and Des Moines Menace trying to make sure it's not the same scoreline we have in 45 minutes. Justin Vorster joining myself, Danny Catula. For halftime coverage, it's 0-0, but Menace have certainly had their opportunities. You mentioned in the break before we came on, Narciso Cervantes has been a guy who, has had his chances, but he's been caught out a couple of times.
Yeah, they just haven't taken the opportunities and been clinical in front of goal. It's been slightly panicked, I would say. Striking from long range, why not? Have a chance, but still, it's finding those combinations and reading play. And we spoke about Brian. I mean, he's unbelievable. He gets on the half turn and he plays the ball around the corner. His teammates aren't reading him in the way he plays. I look at Neville on the left-hand side. They've got to keep giving him the ball, got to keep him running at Lopez, and then it's got to be a little more clinical with the cross, and then need more players in the box.
Who has been, a bright spot for Manitoba for you? They've had a couple of chances going forward, and I think that surprised myself and I think a few other people here too. They've almost looked as dangerous as Menace have in the attacking third.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're just staying a little more compact. They're playing very tight in the midfield. In a flat four, sometimes diamond four, they're trying to squeeze the Menace as far as their three in the midfield. But, the Menace have so much quality in order to, with Maestri and Cupid, and managing to come out of the lines. But on the counter-attack, they're very dangerous. And I think they've really got to be careful on the Menace right-hand side. So Cervantes needs to close that gap. He's been caught twice with the ball and behind. The first one they managed to get in and sling across. It was quite dangerous. Lopez nearly got on the end of one. Malik Smith was counting his stars at the time, that's for sure.
He was, and there have been a few of those opportunities. Obviously, Manitoba with a lot of quality, and they've shown quite a bit of it so far. We'll get some more halftime analysis for you in just a moment. We'll be right back on YouTube via CISN.
A new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors, and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? The kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the champagne of bars.
Midway through this match between Manitoba and the Menace, Danny Catula with Justin Vorster joining me here in the commentary booth at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Justin, we talked about the starting 11s for both these sides and what they've been able to offer, but looking at the 7 that you've got for Menace to be able to call upon, Eddie Speed on the back line's a guy who can get forward. That's a guy who obviously you talked to yesterday on the CISN podcast. If you haven't listened to that, that's certainly well worth an hour of your time. He's a guy who could provide some spark. Jonas Buchti could make his home debut on the season, a center back out of Germany. You've got Luka Nedic. Riley Kraft is a guy who can pull the strings in midfield. Felipe D'Agostini, Brandon Birmingham, so many quality names on that substitutes bench that could come and make a difference. If you're head coach Dean Johnson, who are you calling on first?
I don't think he's going to make a change, to be honest with you, but I think, he's got goal scorers on the side there with Kraft and Birmingham. And I think when you bring those guys in, fresh legs, you can see that Manitoba are wearing out, although they do have their Italian star there in Paolucci to come in. But, you know, he's gone through 2 games. He's 37 years old. You know, he's getting on a bit. But going back into the Menace, I possibly think Cervantes might be the first change and bring in Eddie's speed on the right-hand side, because he will get forward and he'll cause problems. You know, he'll get him behind the back line. He'll stretch them. Plus his defensive qualities, I mean, he'll get back, he'll tuck in, he'll just make sure he keeps the shape. And I think those will be key moments. I don't think he's going to make a change. I mean, the Menace are organized, and it might be after 60, 65 minutes.
Well, before the match, we talked about the organization of Manitoba. How organized has that back four especially been for you?
Look, they've been organized when the ball's been played down their throat. Okay, they've managed to just drop it. They organized dropping off. They get side on. Molina and Enrique Garcia, I mean, they both managed to win the ball in the air. It's when they get stretched out wide, and then there's gaps in between the lines is where they're getting caught. And I believe that's what they need to be aware of. And like I said earlier, if Neville keeps going at Lopez, I mean, the cover isn't coming across quick enough. And when you pull a center back out, for example, Molina or Garcia comes out, that's a player out of position. Now you're pulling players out of position. This is when the Menace need to break into the box, take advantage of that. I think Kraft would possibly do it when you talk about goal scorers. Kraft, Birmingham, and they've got the quality on the bench.
Well, really, they've got the quality in the 11 as well. 4 goals between the 2 central strikers in the match at the moment. Degli Innocenti with 1 and Salvadega with 3 more. So there's goal-scoring talent in this lineup, and there's goal-scoring talent off the bench as well. If they need some fresh legs, I think it's going to be a matter of just being clinical enough to finish when they get those chances.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think here's what I'd really like, and I think we've touched up on this throughout, is in the midfield with Corey Cupid and Maestri. I think it's a great change. And I spoke to Coach Dean Johnson, you know, earlier on, and he said, you know, both players have played as wing backs. They've played in the midfield inside, and you can see that they're quite comfortable in those positions. And the matchups have been good. They're working between the lines in the half space. Maestri does really well, just moving off shoulders in the midfield, in the middle third, into the half space, half turn. He gets that ball on his back foot and he's going forward. I don't know. I don't think they'll make any changes, but I'll be interested to see. There are some subs warming up currently. They might get instructions, but I doubt it right now.
We shall see, and we'll see how the second 45 plays out right here at Valley Stadium in just a moment. Danny Catula and Justin Forster back in a moment on CISN.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Why do businesses succeed? The Better Business Bureau sees the traits of successful businesses every day. It's not easy, but it is simple. The BBB fosters trust between Iowa businesses and consumers.
Visit bbb.org. Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
The Chicken in Orilla is a classic roadhouse joint serving chicken any way you want. All hand-cut, hand-breaded, and 100% satisfying. Chicken, just like your mama used to make. Bring the whole fam for all their favorites, and chicken so good you'll know why we could only call ourselves the Chicken. In the middle of nowhere, but just in it.
halftime, and we're just about to get the second half kicked off. Can't come any sooner for Des Moines Menace. They have not scored against FC Manitoba in all season long. 135 minutes they've played against them, and they don't have a goal to show for it yet. It's the only team they can say that about, Justin. But what are we looking forward to as we come back through these first half highlights? No goals to show you, but plenty of chances.
Yeah, definitely. I think both teams have had plenty of chances, as you can see here with Manitoba with the free kick just outside the box, just off the handball, and it was punched away. It looked like it took a deflection, slight bend in the ball, and the goalkeeper did really, really well, Grant Malaka. Again here, Neville, look, he didn't quite connect that, to be honest with you. He connected the ground and just not enough power off it. Lots of shots from distance. Maestri looking to play a ball in here to Padilla. Padilla threads the ball through. What a lovely ball that was played in for Delicento, and just off balance on the strike. And here again, Padilla from distance. Good player on the ball. He's going to take his chances. I mean, one might come off, might hit the top corner with a bit of dip. And here again, another free kick for Manitoba. You know, Menace have to be careful. It was well taken, but again, that was easy for McCullough in goal. McKellar.
Yeah, he's done well in that first half, Grant has. A Destin native. He has PDL experience, which, of course, is what USL 2 used to be called, from 2012 to 2014, and ended up playing for a few years in Florida at the college level as well. He conceded less than 1 goal per match every single year of his college career, and he's done that this season with Menace as well. Really commanding figure in goal, does a really good job communicating, fantastic goalkeeper, and he's got his job taken care of so far. The couple of saves he's had to make, I think now it's the turn of the attacking forces to try and find a way to grab that goal for Menace. 0-0, but 45 more minutes for Menace to figure it out and try and grab 3 points.
I don't see any changes on the Menace side. I'm just trying to have a look at Manitoba just to see if they've made any changes. I believe they haven't. I see Diego Aveco is still in the game, and he took a bit of a smashing in the first half.
How we figured he might come off at halftime, but he will stay on. He's been a tough character, and he's really been a lot of what's been bright in the attack for Manitoba, so it's certainly helpful to George Cabral and his coaching staff that he's still in. And we are underway for half number 2. 46th minute of play. 45 more to bring you right here on CISN. An early throw-in in the defensive half for Manitoba.
Well, you can see there as the Manitoba took the kickoff, they went back. The Menace were in on the press right away. And that's the urgency coming out at second half that's needed.
I guarantee you some of that urgency came from the halftime team talk from Dean Johnson.
Yeah, I think it did. I think he'll be happy with the way the boys are playing, but just taking the chances in the right moments and being clinical. Maestri did. Look at him, just keeping the ball. He does so well. And look, just gets the ball out quickly, wins a free kick, and that's just experience.
Yeah, it would have been easy to give the ball away in that area of the pitch, but able to hold on to it. Well, the ensuing free kick doesn't go much of anywhere. Menace with a throw-in, though, in midfield. Again, plenty of players to call on from the substitutes bench if Coach Johnson chooses to do so. But right now, it's still the same 11 that started this match. Keep in mind a couple of attacking changes to this squad. Ryan Kingsford, who started most of the year early on, as that's a ball chased down by Cervantes that goes a little bit beyond his run. But you look at Ryan Kingsford, he's got an injury he still hasn't come back yet from to his foot. And then you've obviously got Fernando Garcia, who has left. He's at FC Tucson now.
That's right, yeah.
Really excited for him to get that chance in USL League One. And you got Riley Kraft at the attacking midfield spot, who's in the 18, but had a bit of a knock in training. So, you know, there's plenty of new faces in this attacking lineup right now, as FC Manitoba are going to call on their own attacking lineup to come the other way.
It could be a yellow card, that for sure.
I think it should be. And the referee might just give him a bit of mercy here. Nope, no, he will not.
I don't think there's any chance of that, because he was pulling his shirt once, twice, and then on the third attempt just clipped his heels.
And it's Luis Maestre who goes into the book for the second time this season. You'll see Corey Cupid try and play it through midfield, and that right there Maestre loses it, and he knows exactly what he's doing from here on.
I do like his fight to work back and win the ball as well. Danny, I think that's really important.
Not sure if winning the ball was quite what he was doing, but disrupting it at the very least.
Yep, that's true.
Good job cutting out the passing lane by Morgan. Sorry to interrupt there, as Manitoba with a chance to come the other way. Nice defending from Menace, and can they get out on the break in a chance like now? Salvadego. He is pulled back from behind. David Chung will likely receive a yellow card of his own. Yes, he will. That's 4 yellow cards, well on his way to a later season suspension. It's 6 yellow cards that you've got to get. That converts into a 1-game ban. He's got 4 on the year, Chung does, and now an attacking free kick chance.
But if you look at that, Delicento wanted that ball earlier. He wanted it earlier. He made the run. He was in behind, and I see his frustration. But at least they got a free kick off it. But his runs are so good, and it's just a matter of being on the same page as him.
Attacking half down this right side, Corey Cupid. He'll lose possession. A couple of players from Manitoba able to wrestle it away. Hidalgo Matse plays it through midfield, and this will be Greenfield. Now back to Hidalgo Matse. In attack, Cabral. Chung.
So Menace need to get just another player in behind the ball. They're lucky that ball went back. That's good. Well organized. Now they can organize again.
Good ball down the left from Hidalgo Matse, but it is over the touchline for a Menace throw-in. And it looks like it'll be taken by the England native, Connor Langan. Played at the Southampton FC Academy. That's an academy that's produced a whole lot of bright names.
So Cervantes took the throw there, yeah. But Connor Langan, yeah, Southampton, it's again, he's just offside there. Brian Padilla. But talking about the Southampton Academy, I mean, it's remarkable. The players they've produced out of that academy is phenomenal.
This ball right here is, it is beyond the last line of defense, as you see at the second time. But before that, a free kick. So we'll see an attacking opportunity.
That's good. It's actually, that's good reffing there, actually, from Riley Turner. I mean, he played advantage, didn't work. Offside brings it back to where the foul was committed.
Yeah, well done from him. Maestre, the man who's got the free kick duties this evening in place of Riley Kraft, who's on the bench. We'll see what he can do from here. About 35 yards from goal. Referee just making sure all is in order. And Maestre's service comes through the middle. Players in the area. And it's just beyond all of them. Not a bad service. Tantalizing ball in. No one can finish.
What a great free kick. Great technique. Just inside of the left foot. Just bending in as you see the replay coming up here. Just a technique on there. I mean, he's expecting someone to get on the end of it. Evan Barker didn't know whether to come or not. And I believe that was going on. Yeah, it was actually Corey Cupid just launching his leg out towards the ball. Again, another free kick.
And Cupid, as you mentioned, his name is the one who gives it away.
Bringing down Chung. And David Chung's on a yellow card. Is Maestri?
Yeah, that's right. They're the two who have been booked so far today. Hidalgo Matse will play it to Molina. That's Kevin Garrick who played it forward for Reveco. Reveco gives it away to Chung, and Reveco sees the ball again. Splits a pair of defenders. He'll play it out to the left, and you saw the idea for Cabral, and it could still be on. Grant Makela had to make a sliding challenge to avoid that.
Makela did well coming out. There was a slight miscommunication between him and the two defenders. Did well, took the initiative to clear the lines.
Barker on the ball. He'll play it across midfield, and will it stay in play out there? It will, headed back in by Morgan. And that ball is a little bit elevated. Not quite what Padilla was hoping for.
Manitoba like to get their outside backs forward, the left back and right back. Go 3 at the back with a holding midfielder just to be safe.
Hidalgo Matse on the pass from Cabral. He'll send this cross in. Far post, no one there. Morgan chases it down and forces that one out of play. It was actually out of play before the cross, so a throw-in for Menace out there.
So Lopez should have trusted his teammate there on the far side, made a run, inverted run. He was still hanging out on the far side in the wide areas, which obviously the Menace don't mind at this point because he's not in a dangerous area.
ball still being put into precarious positions by Manitoba. This one will take a touch off of a Manitoba attacker. Throw in for Menace. Morgan to take.
I'm surprised Manitoba didn't press on Seal's miss kick there.
This one played back, and it could be an error. It is an error. Right in front of goal. Surely the opener. Yes, it is. 1-0 Menace. Alessandro Salvadego, the man to do it. 1-0 Menace. And a worthy celebration. Gets onto a table and gets onto the scoreboard. 53rd minute. And that is what Menace were hoping for and building towards. They finally got it.
Well, I tell you what, Manitoba will not be happy with that because Kevin Garrett gets the ball, tries to play a back pass with his left foot. It was well read there by Salvadego. Calmly just puts it past the goalkeeper, Evan Barker. And he's not the player you want to be giving the ball away to. An unforced error is now what's brought Menace into a 1-0 lead. Again, as you have a look, a miss kick, well read there. It was just calmly put into the back of the net.
Yeah, you really feel for Manitoba in that situation. I mean, Salvadego, take nothing away from his finish, but you look at Manitoba and they were playing exactly the way they wanted to. Everything was going right for them as far as the score line, the way that things were playing out, and it's just an error like that in a game like soccer that can change the entirety of the situation. A free kick for Manitoba in midfield now, but now the game has to change pretty significantly as far as the way that both teams approach it.
Marginal moments in the game, Danny, because earlier on, Zeron Seal miskicked the ball and it went straight up in the air. He managed to bring it down, but there was no press from Manitoba's front line to go win it. Then the opposite happens, and it was well taken there by Alessandro Salvadego. And I think, now the momentum might change. Manitoba, excuse my tongue-twisted.
Well, it's
Manitoba.
Because right as someone runs into a table, you've got to say Manitoba, and that's our job as commentators.
I know, right? Yeah, but it's like they're playing so well, and they're well organized, and I think they'll be a little bit frustrated at themselves for actually gifting the Des Moines Menace with a goal like that. Yeah, but it's going to take some character. It's going to take some character from the players now to switch on. But this is where the Menace are really, really dangerous.
How about this? A through ball for himself. Not a bad idea at all. Or I believe that's Neville Morgan, who went all the way to the center of the pitch from his left wing back spot. You thought he might play a incisive through ball to someone else, but he played it to himself in the end and nearly worked out for him. A throw in for Menace on this near side in front of us to be taken by Cervantes.
Brian Padilla actually pulled to our near side, pulling defenders away, and Neville just decided, well, I'm going to take this on my own because there was a massive gap in front of him. But this is it. Momentum, you score a goal, there's a huge momentum swing, and this will work in favor of the Menace. These next 5 minutes are crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Manitoba will want to grab an equalizer as soon as possible, and Menace making it a bit easier for them as they give the ball away in midfield on an errant pass. Molina on the back line. And now you've got Kevin Garrich on the left side. It almost looks like Manitoba have moved to more of a three-back formation. Hidalgo Matse seems to be playing in more of a midfield role. Garrich has kind of replaced him in left central defense. David Chung more or less an attacking midfielder now from what I can tell. That was offside in the meantime against Menace. So now down this right side, Manuel Reyes Delgado. That one's out of play, and a throw in now for Menace. Alex Smith, Corey Cupid with it. Langen takes his time, he'll play it to Cervantes. Padilla, what a story Padilla's got. National championship winner with Maryland, the Terrapins won in 2018. Earlier this season had 9 goals in 6 matches for Denton Diablos in the NPSL, scored 5 times in 1 match alone against Coyotes, and now a chance for the Menace to get their second. It's Teglino Centi on the ball. Can he hold on to it? No, he can't. Just that first touch betrayed him a little bit, and it's a goal kick as a result.
Yeah, Kevin actually did really well there, Garrett. Just to make sure he kept him wide, ushered him out a little bit, a little nudge as well on the side of his shoulder. But that, yeah, again, the Menace are now looking, as you can see now, penetrating forward.
Oh, a lot of space for a potential cutback. In any case, it's a shot on target. I believe it was Padilla who took it, and he had the run of Degli Innocenti inside. Maybe a chance to cut it back to him. He was in acres of space at the top of the box.
Yeah, he was in acres of space, but now the Manitoba two center backs now just opening up. I mean, they form into a back three, and I think now the Menace are starting to open them up just with movement, and obviously the goal's been an effect of it on it as well, as you can see here.
They're doing a lot of the same things they did in the first half, but with a lot more success. Oh, unfortunate.
That was close.
For me, it looked like he could have been on.
Molina looked like he played him on. That'll be really, really interesting.
It was Degli Innocenti, by the way, who was called for offside.
You look at this, yeah, what a ball. The center back steps in, and then Carrick steps. He's onside on the far side.
He is.
He looks like he's onside, that's for sure.
Well, and what points it out to you is that 20-yard line. It's orange. It's a different color as you see on your screen now. It sure looked like with that line. Almost seems like a VAR line.
It looked like Molina was definitely playing him onside, but again, Enrique Garcia stepped in. Kevin Garrett's also stepped in as we see subs coming. Garrett's also stepped in. He wasn't covering, and that's how they got split.
Well, we can tell you that Luka Nedic has entered, and you've also got Riley Kraft in the match, so a couple of midfield changes. I believe Kraft will replace Brian Padilla. Or no, Padilla's still on. That's what I would have expected him to replace positionally, but looks like he's still around. And I think they've moved Padilla up, so has Degli Innocenti gone off? I believe he has. As there's a chance down this right side, Cervantes is on, and it's a 3-on-1 chance. If they do it right, they do. Oh, and it should be two. A point-blank save. A header is going to hit the hand of a fellow Menace player. Friendly fire. Evan Barker somehow keeps Manitoba down 1-0. That's incredible.
But what a save there by Evan Barker, to be honest with you. That was absolutely fantastic. Yes, the Menace should have finished it. That was a well-timed run there by Neville Morgan, I believe. Or no, actually it was Cervantes down the right-hand side. But what a ball he played, and it should have been taken care of. Most definitely. That was the chance, Danny, to go 2-0 up and, you know, have a little more control of the match.
Yeah, 1-0 does not seem sufficient. At least not the way that Manitoba have played. How about that tricky dribbling? And now it's a chance in midfield for Luka Nedic. He'll play this long, and there's players outside who could make something of this. Again, a three-person chance. So much attacking talent, and the shot is saved again. Barker's made a point-blank save for the second time in a minute. Another opportunity. That one's charged down, still in the area. How about a shot from distance at the edge of the box? That's off target. What is it going to take for Menace to get goal number 2?
Well, Manitoba are trying to play this offside line, and it's not working for the second time in a row. And that should have been complete, should have been finished, should be 3-0 to the Menace. Again, Morgan Neville on the far side plays the ball in, maybe could have cut in a bit more. What a great ball in, but credit to the keeper, great save, but it was the keeper's height managing to get his hand to it, but they've got to take advantage of that. You can see
error in possession coming. Well, how can it be offside if he's won the ball defensively? Maybe on the tackle, it's officially a pass, and the player who receives it, Padilla's offside. So at first look, it looked like Padilla had won the ball back himself, but I think Riley Kraft made the challenge, and because that tackle was a direct play on the ball and a purposeful one, it's officially a pass, and Brian Padilla is offside.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Complicated one, but I think the refs have got it right.
It is complicated, and it's a quick decision that the referees, the officials have to make. But here I'm sensing, with the way they're playing, Manitoba, they're playing really three at the back, and they're being caught and they're being stretched. Now the fresh legs are causing problems. Riley Kraft coming into the game, and then Brian Padilla is just shifting out to the right-hand side, you know, which is creating a little more space down the middle for Alessandro Salvadego. It really is working, and the pace is absolutely tearing Manitoba's back line apart as we see a free kick here.
That one's going to go against, I'm not quite sure who that is. It'll be a yellow card, though. might be Lachlan Lindsay who's come in. We'll see it again. Try to get the number for you. It's right up here. No, I think that's going to be that's Manuel Reyes Delgado out there on the left side, who is going to give away that free kick and pick up a yellow card in the process. So 63rd minute, second player booked of the evening for Manitoba. And again, it's Manuel Reyes Delgado from San Felipe, Chile, who picks up the booking. Left side of attack, this is Luka Nedic. Moves it to the right. What a switch of play that is. Cervantes back for Smith, and that one's one back. Here's Cupid. That one given away by Nedic on the errant pass. Coming the other way, and Cabral was waiting for it, but cleared away nicely by Langen that time.
Yeah, Langen read that well, just stepping it and just pinging it away, taking a bit of pressure off the Menace, but the Menace should be 3-0 up by now after those last two breaks with Manitoba. Trying to play the offside line, especially with 3 at the back, is really, really dangerous.
Evan Barker has done a good job keeping the danger away ever since giving up the opener. Which certainly seems to be no fault of his own, that first goal. And it's the only goal right now. 1-0 for Menace in the 64th minute as we near the 65th. And Manitoba on the ball in midfield. They are not going to give this one up. And the ball is Chung. Now with it, Diego Reveco. Just wonder when you'll see the introduction of substitute Michele Paolucci, if he is available. He was warming up. He's here. One of the 18 who's made the trip. We'll see if we see him. There's a good ball to midfield, and Riley Kraft can dispatch it to the right side, and he does so now. Narciso Cervantes. Cervantes has players to aim for if he goes for a cross, but he'll come inside the middle, cut it back outside, and have a go. And that one was well read by Kevin Garrich, right back turned center back.
Cervantes had lots of space ahead of him. Ball was played in front. The wing back was caught out of position for Manitoba. Had acres of space to make his way back. But I tell you what, the Manitoba organized themselves really well at the back, forcing Cervantes to shoot. And a corner. I think Cervantes could have just kept the ball just slightly more and just build again. I think it was a little more erratic, but a corner out of it is still to an advantage.
Well, we'll see if the referee will allow for some substitutions here. Not sure if the changes will be made in time for the corner kick or not. But we have a break in play, so it looks like that might be the case. Although no one's coming on or off, so we shall see. Yeah, I think they are gonna make those changes. So 2 substitutions for Manitoba. Coming off, looks like a couple of attacking players, which makes sense. You want to get new, fresh legs into the team in that area of the pitch when you're down a goal. Trying to figure out who those changes are. We can tell you one of them is midfielder Isaac Bradbury. Central midfielder who's played in 5 matches. He's got 1 yellow card on the year. Really interesting story about Bradbury. He's an intern with a group called Ascent Soccer, and their mission is to be the greenest club in Africa. They do a lot of really cool work trying to make sure that kids in Africa have the chance to play soccer and have the chance to thrive as well, and they do so in an environmentally friendly way. Really cool club that is. And you're also going to see Ilyich Gara-Madani, a defender, but can also play in midfield. He's only played in 1 match this year. This is only his 2nd appearance of the campaign. Played at Mount Royal College. Those are your 2 subs coming in. We'll let you know who's off when we can. But in the meantime, that corner kick opportunity for Riley Kraft. The first set piece since he's come on, and of course he'll be the man to take it. Comes into the box and headed away just as quickly. Menace will scramble to win it back. That is not the outlet pass that they were looking for in that area of the pitch. So the ball given away by Brian Padilla. And to throw in now for Aaron Hidalgo-Matse.
I think that was rather erratic, though. Just playing the ball out by Padilla. He could have kept the ball there, to be honest with you. I believe number 26, Bradbury, is replacing Chung. If I'm
Yeah, I don't think I see Chung in that midfield 3 anymore, so it looks like he's left the pitch. That's a like-for-like substitution. Not sure who Garamandi has replaced, but He's in an attacking role right now, and the foul given away by Corey Cupid there. On the turf is Reyes Delgado, and he would like to see a yellow card. He won't quite yet. As limpering up a couple of changes for Menace as well. We won't see him quite yet, but they should come soon, as this challenge right here in midfield with Reyes Delgado on it. Yep, that is taken down. And Garamondi for sure is in the attacking two. Not sure if he's replaced. We would think it'd be either Ethan Cabral or Diego Reveco. But we are not sure of that yet. Again, we'll let you know when we've got that confirmed. But here's Reyes Delgado. He'll play it into the back post, headed away for now. And it bounces harmlessly out for a Manitoba corner kick. 69th minute, still 1-0 for Menace, even though it feels like it should be more. You give up a goal here, it's back to level pegging.
I believe that was Corey Cupid just glancing the ball out for a corner.
Ball comes in. It's a dangerous one, but takes no touches, and it's out of bounds for a Des Moines Menace goal kick.
Those in-swingers are really dangerous. If they hit properly, if they struck properly with technique, they are very, very dangerous.
Grant Makala to take the goal kick, and looks like he'll take his time, take a bit of air out of the ball, and actually he'll take a little bit more time because we've got two changes to bring you. Felipe De Agostini will come into attack, and he will replace Brian Padilla. You'll also see another attacking change. Looks like Brandon Birmingham, and he's going to come in for Alessandro Salvarego. So two more attacking changes. So far, the changes we've seen have all been attacking ones. Luka Nedic comes into midfield for Luis Maestre. Brian Padilla comes off. So does Eduardo Deglino-Centi, and now Alessandro Salvarego. All four of your most high-up attacking players are gone and replaced with equally adept attacking players. Down this right side, here comes some of them. D'Agostini lost his handle of the ball. He couldn't quite track it, but still on the ball, Menace. Nedic.
Well, I tell you what, I'm on the field playing for Manitoba, and I'm looking at what's coming into the game from the Menace, and I'm going, oh my word, do I have to deal with this? I've just had to deal with the first lot, now it's this, but again, it's fresh. It just goes to show the depth in the squad and the fresh legs coming in. What composure there from Ziron Sivel. Just getting the ball, moving in between two defenders with ease. As Cupid just got knocked there, I just saw that out of the picture.
Yeah, Corey Cupid goes down. That's not a guy that you want to lose. It's the type of player that we would like to see in a Menace shirt as long as possible. It looks like he'll pick himself up from that knock and carry on. We'll see how he got to the turf once more. Yeah, and he just leaves that ball out a little bit. I don't even think it was purposeful, but that kind of missed touch resulted in a foul. Back line, Sewell. And he has been a mainstay on the back line. Big part of this clean sheet that Menace have so far. Been a couple matches since they picked one of those up.
I tell you what, that was a good block there as far as Neville was gone past Lopez on the far side, but I tell you, a really good defending in the space there from the midfielder. Looking for this quick one.
Well, the long ball, and there was a lot of space there. If the ball was a little bit wider, it really could have found Ilyich Garamadani, the substitute.
And fresh legs as well up front there for Manitoba.
Right.
He's got a bit of pace about him.
So into the attacking half, Manitoba, another chance. And they can't quite get anything with that. Brandon Birmingham getting one of his first touches on the ball, but doesn't come to much for Menace. And on the back line, Barker again. Garcia. Right side, Sergio Molina.
Garcia was urging his players to get forward and stretch the line.
While winning the ball back, our Menace in midfield. Kraft will play it back to a waiting Neville Morgan, or actually that's Corey Cupid in midfield, and he'll go down just a couple of moments after he was knocked down earlier. Kraft isn't pleased with the foul on his teammate. And that will lead us to a free kick at about midfield.
Now the Menace don't really want to let this draw out more because it just takes a lack of concentration. They don't need that to happen. I'm just reflecting back to the two sitters they had earlier to go 2-0 up and then 3-0 up. It looks like Manitoba have got themselves organized with their line at the back. I mean, they were caught within 5 minutes. That's a lovely. I like that idea of Cupid just playing that first-time ball around the corner just to catch them off guard and eliminating 4 players at once.
Yeah, it was good defending in the end for Manitoba to keep that ball from finding its way through unscathed. Throw in for Menace will give them the ball just outside the box. Felipe De Agostini goes down. Referee says no foul. We'll play on. And a couple of bounces on the back line for Menace. They'll play it back into the safe feet of Grant Makala. Midfield, Cupid. He'll turn to his left, now cut back. And in space is Connor Langan. Nice job to eliminate the press of Garamadani. This ball is long and it is offside for Brandon Birmingham. Well, that would have been the opportunity of the century if it had been onside, but I think he was a few yards beyond the last defender that time.
It was a good ball played in, and Birmingham working off the shoulder of the defender. But going back to Cupid did really well just to keep possession and just find his way out and just find Connor on our near side here. But they've beaten that offside trap twice already. I mean, it's been proven. They just got to get the timing right.
Yeah, for a couple of minutes there, we're just doing nothing but getting attacking chances. It was just chance.
I tell you what, our official on our near side is really getting a workout there, that's for sure.
He sure is. Getting a workout as well as Birmingham on the left side. Dispatches a defender and gets the second goal of the match. Brandon Birmingham with a beautiful piece of play. It's 2-0 Menace.
Well, Brandon Birmingham made that look so easy. Out wide there, pouncing onto a lovely ball that was played through that split the Manitoba back line. But it just took that with ease. Look at that little swagger about him after he scored the goal. A little bit
why
like
not?
Peaky Blinders, but look here. He just cuts inside, gets his head up, goes past the defender Kareka, just boom, just straight past the goalkeeper. It was well taken.
Wow, that's about as good of a dribble move as you're going to see. It's direct, it's not overly flashy, it's exactly what he needed to do, and he makes the owner / center back Enrique Garcia look a bit foolish, puts him through the spin cycle.
If you look
touch
at this
there.
You see how square that Enrique was. He wasn't side on, he got caught off balance, just his mobility's off.
Yeah, you've got to speak about the finish as well. It's certainly quality. You take nothing away from that. We will see a couple of changes in the meantime.
Looks like
going to see
Eddie Speed in there, number 17.
Yeah, Eddie Speed's made his way in. Narciso Cervantes will say goodbye to this match. And Jonas Buchty is in the match as well as a defensive midfield option. That's all of Menace's 6 non-goalkeeper substitutions. Only player left on the bench is Joey Batroni, San Antonio, Texas native. I believe Buchty's come in to replace Corey Cupid in central midfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yep. And Corey Cupid's had a great match. I mean, he's gone through a shift. He's put in 75 minutes of hard work.
In a different position than he normally plays.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the gaffer was saying that he can play in that position. He plays in that position in college. So changes have come in. It's 2-0 with 15 minutes to go of the match, and I think the Menace at this point are on a commanding stage, unless they really do something wrong. I just don't see it right now, but I'm not going to speak too soon like I have before at times.
Yeah, it's always possible, isn't it? And we spoke last time about the commentator's curse. It looks like we'll have another drinks break here in the 77th minute. But Birmingham with his 3rd goal of the campaign after Salvadego grabbed his 4th of the season. That leads the team. Birmingham joint 2nd with a host of other players on 3 goals this year.
Well, I tell you what, the guys that have come into the game have just shown the composure. I mean, there was just the swing in the match was just boom, critical. It's just extra legs, and just the guys come in and there's a zip about it, and obviously when you look at Manitoba, credit to them. I mean, they're well organized, but it was going to be a matter of time before they get broken down. And I think when they conceded and they went to a back 3 with the wing backs, I don't think they have the back 3 to do that at this time. They should have stayed the same, in the same shape as they did. And again, we go down to the unforced errors and giving it away. I mean, it was a good chance for them. much needed water break. It's easy for us to say that up here when we know how hot it is down there, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to be honest, it's not particularly cool up here either, but that it is interesting. You mentioned the formational change that we saw between the first half and early in the second half, and then once they gave up that goal off the air in the back, it was that pivotal moment that really changed the way that they had to approach this match against a Menace side that's known for their attack, but's very quality in defense as well. And they've gone to, a bit of a more of a dice rolling 3-4-3, and it doesn't feel like their style quite as much. It doesn't fit their personnel the same way.
No, it doesn't. I mean, when you look at the Menace, that's what they've trained to do all season, and I think they can adapt with the wing backs dropping into either a back four and adjusting the shape when needed. Manitoba did look good and well organized in the 4-3-3, and it changed. They had Lopez going out in the wide areas, but they always made sure they had the cover on the far side in case there was a breakdown, and then they were shift into a back four. They were well organized in the midfield, but it was just, when you concede a goal, sometimes it's just that urgency. No, we need to get one back, especially if you have time, and it's just being patient and then start to make your move. I think they went into a back three too early, to be honest with you, and just they don't have the pace at the back to compete with the Menace breaking from the midfield and up front.
Especially when they bring 3 new attackers on.
I mean, you look at Riley Kraft, Birmingham, and then Felipe D'Agostini, and then now they've got Eddie Speed, as we say, Speedo on the right-hand side.
Oh, well,
Yes.
Grant Nakala took his time clearing that one away, didn't he? Gave me a mini heart attack, but he knew what he was doing the whole time, I'm sure he'll tell us.
Giving me a heart attack there, I'm telling you what.
Well, a free kick in the meantime for Manitoba as we enter the 80th minute. About a decade more of minutes to play.
And this result will put them in good standing at the top of the log. Another 3 points from 22 to 25.
It'll put them 13 points up in the overall table and 1 point away from clinching the Deep North Division regular season title. It's not the first time they've done that.
But clinching it early, I mean, that just gives them time now to really get fresh legs, but also trying to keep the momentum going and players playing all the time as well. Danny, I was having a look at the other regions, in our conference. It's like there's some good teams out there. A lot of talent. Good teams.
To speak about the Flint City Bucks, a couple of years ago, USL 2 national champions. A lot of pride and joy to Flint, Michigan, in a year where those two things were hard to come by in that community. And then you have AFC Ann Arbor, a fairly new team to the fold. Came over from MPSL a couple of years ago, and they've shown a lot of talent. How about this? Good forward play, and again, it's the pressure, but again, as we've seen, especially in that first half, a couple of errant passes just keep Menace from potentially a third.
Enrique was caught on the ball dribbling through the midfield.
Oh, how about that for a touch? Moving outside, and this is a chance for Manitoba to get forward. They've got a few players in that area. And now taking one down will be, I believe, Luka Nedic. And it was Garamadani who went down. So, well, that is not what you want to see. Luka Nedic has picked up yet another yellow card. And that one, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be the one that suspends him for the next match. That's 5 for him on the season. And I believe the USL League 2 ruling is 5 yellow cards results in a 1-match ban next time. That could be concerning, especially if we don't see Elliot Goldthorpe back in the lineup next week.
Well, it'll be interesting. I was talking to Elliot earlier, and he hopes to be back by next Friday. Next Friday's got a whole week off.
6 days anyway.
6 days for the league, but he's desperate to get back into it as Elliot. I mean, as you see the free kick.
Well, surely offside that time is.
Yes, it is.
The run of Isaac Bradbury, and I saw that from here. You saw him make his run, and it was awfully early, wasn't it? And he will be penalized for that with an offside flag. Wasn't able to dispatch the shot in any case. Garamadani, I should say, being so kind as to putting the ball on the spot for Menace.
And again, there it's just the timing of the movement. Don't go too early. Maybe start 3-4 yards back, and then make your runners. The delivery comes in.
This one played long and headed back into midfield. Latching onto it there. It's going to be Lopez. Garamadani can't hold on to possession, and Menace will win it back instead. Morgan. Kraft will play it back. Connor Langen. This back line has played all 83 minutes so far, and they've got 7 more to play. No more reinforcements to replace them. But they've been awfully strong and solid so far. Other end of the pitch, D'Agostini lays it back. A shot from distance. That one is blocked. And how about another effort at it? On the ball is Luka Nedic now. I'll play it to Jonas Bukti. Bukti will see it again on a give and go from Neville Morgan. Morgan again. Plays it through midfield. How about that little interplay? Played in by Bukti, and that was not the central ball that he wanted. It's out for a corner kick, though.
A great combination on the far side between the three of them. It was all one-touch football, and Manitoba players couldn't do anything about it. Their heads were just spinning, basically, and it was all one-touch ball played in between the seams. And you're talking about the half space and the wide areas there, and if you can break the line there, and it was really flat defensively.
Corner kick to come from Riley Kraft, Roseville, California native. Grew up in the Sacramento Republic Academy. And in comes his service. Played to the back post. Oh, and that was not far away from an Olympico, was it?
That was a great ball that was played in action. It's a corner on this side, so it must be a deflection now, but what a great, fantastic delivery into the box, onto the far post.
Wasn't far away at all from finding the back of the net in itself.
I tell you what, Zeron was on there. One for Jamaica, on the far post there. Right. But what a ball this is by Kraft. As you can see, just whips his foot around the ball into the far post. Keeper, actually, I think it was Evan Barker.
I believe you're right, the man in purple. Another ball in from Kraft. That went to the near post, and it's kicked out. Top of the box. An absolute laser. But it is not enough from Connor Lincoln to beat Evan Barker, who, for his credit, has done fantastically well.
Actually, that was Eddie Speed with the strike. Yeah, it was a great strike, but Barker did well, and we see end-to-end action.
Yes, we do. Connor Langen.
I think he's just trying to keep his keeper busy, isn't he?
Right. He says, hey, you're going to have to work for your clean sheet. Can't get it that easily. Grant Makela already has 3 on the season in his 6 matches.
Makela just dives, picks the ball up. No big deal. Didn't even have a go at Langen. No big deal. I've taken care of this one. Look at the press coming in there.
And winning it off the press will be Eddie Speed. Good friend of ours here in the booth. Jonas Bukti will play it out to Neville Morgan. Up this left side, and that's a really inventive ball. Latching onto it, Brandon Birmingham. Birmingham cuts it back. Can he find a cross? No, we'll play it back. 86th minute. Neville Morgan. And this is Bukti.
This is good football. Just keep the ball. And this is how they're going to open up the opponents.
Speed. Oh, what a move to get into the middle of the pitch. Will he have a go at goal again? No, it's a give and go. Oh, and he's so inches away. He makes the back pass, and the goal is onside. An incredible effort from Eddie Speed, and the shot is put away from Riley Kraft.
I tell you what, some great work there by Eddie Speed. Some individual brilliance. He's got so much ability, but when we look at this again, just the work rate that he puts in and the combinations, absolutely fantastic. I was going to say the last time I was here, he did score, but here again, look at that little 1-2, eliminating 2 defenders, ball watching, manages to get ahead of the defender there, and there he was, just to put the ball away. Fantastic finish there by Riley Kraft.
And that's the mark of a true professional player. You can tell he's played at USL level. You can tell he's played in League One. That ability, you'll see it again here. Speed, I mean, he can take nothing away from what he's done, but excellent work for Kraft to just be there, to make sure he's in that spot and knowing that that ball could come to him at any time, and Justin to stay on side.
It's a goal poacher. I mean, that's, you look at guys like Gary Lineker and that, all the goals he scored were in around the 6-yard box. But I mean, just you look at the combinations and the work rate now, and it's 3-0, it could be 6-0. We're looking at the other opportunities that the Menace had earlier, the easier ones that they should have taken care of. But this is brilliant, some brilliance here late on in the game, and this has been a norm, hasn't it, later on in the games?
Yeah, we tend to see it later on in the first and the second half for whatever reason. Just kind of takes Menace a while to break down their opponent and kind of force them into those mental errors. We go back to that opening goal about 30 minutes ago now in the 55th that was dispatched by Salvadego. It came off of one of those errors, and it just is something that comes with the territory when you're defending like that for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets in your head, or it depends how you bounce back from it, but that's the last thing you want to be doing away from home as well, you know, especially when you're on the road.
And especially on the road against Menace. Not a team that you can make any real mental mistakes against, and obviously that has been proven for you tonight. Do want to say thank you to a few people who are tuning in from across the country. Atlantic Soccer Media Group, Larry Weaver and Andre Bomar over there, some good friends of mine. Thank you guys for tuning in from all the way in the southeast U.S. And Hunter Phillips as well. May know that name as the voice of Drake Women's Soccer and host of other sports over there. Fantastic commentary from him. Good to have him tuning in as well. And, of course, want to take the time to say thank you to everybody who makes these broadcasts possible. CISN, Justin Wolver, our producer, up here in the booth alongside us. Peter Tarpey, the boss man running things at CISN. Appreciate everything they do. Interns at Des Moines Menace. Angie Neese, Sydney Tatum, Charlie Bales, Lyle Hunt, general managers of the operation, Kyle Kraus, the owner, Kai Edwards, social media guy, so many people who make this product possible that you see in person at Valley, that you see on your screen on YouTube. A lot of great people on and off the pitch that make this organization so successful. 3-0 in the 89th minute, Menace on top of Manitoba.
We just come here and talk, don't we? It's all behind the scenes. Even the camera people, I mean, you've got Rachel on cameras, and it's like unbelievable, just all that extra work, and I don't think they get enough credit. But
not at all.
These are the people that make this work for us, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. We get the fun part. We get the easy part. And
yeah, no credit to you as well in the research and organizing. I mean, this life is a lot easier, and it's great. It's great working with you. So it's thoroughly enjoying it. I'm glad you got friends around the country tuning in, man. All my mates are in South Africa and the UK. It's a little bit...
Yeah, the time zone makes it difficult,
Time zone is a little bit different.
Certainly is. As we'll see Corey Cupid hit the floor there. And, man, that's a bit concerning. You do not want to see him, as I think he's been moved out to where Neville Morgan was playing earlier on. Morgan playing left wing back for a while, and that's Corey Cupid's typical position as wing back. I think they've moved him out there now that Bukti and Luka Nedic have come in. That central midfield spot, but no, it is fun to have people in the commentary world tuning in, showing their support.
But that just goes to show how versatile he is. Yeah. You know, he can play inside, in the midfield. Did a great job in there. I thought he was fantastic. Good vision. Now they've got him outside, wide on the left-hand side in the wing-back position. I mean, he's just going through the graft. And, you know, I think we got it wrong earlier where we thought he went off, and we didn't quite get the visual, so apologize for that. But, you know, he's in there still, and we're looking at the 90th minute right now. You know, is he one that probably needs a rest for the next game? Probably not. He's got an engine
you would
on
think
him.
So, but
you
no,
know, I know these Trinnies, man. These Trinnies are a lot different. I mean, they love their football and they'll go all day.
Absolutely.
I've had a few barbecues with a few Trinnies. I tell you what, they love that. They love a good time, you know.
Who can blame them?
I know, true.
Well, a free kick earned by Eddie Speed, about 25 yards or so from goal. So one time it does help to have the football lines, as you know where the free kicks more or less are being taken from. Other than that, I could do without them. But I mean, that's a great point to mention as well. Valley Stadium, what a venue to have these home matches in for Des Moines Menace. Fantastic press box up here. They're taking care of us. Got an elevator out here. What else could you ask for?
We have a great view here, don't we?
We sure do. See the free kick being taken for Menace. A few players swirling in the area. Sent to the back post. D'Agostini was there, and I believe Cupid was all the way at the back post. No, actually, that's Malik Smith, who came all the way from his center back position. Former Liberty Flame from Canada himself, actually, from Brampton in Ontario.
Yeah, I believe so, because as you see Cupid now jumping in there to win that. He just got injured earlier on and stayed back for the free kick, and here he is winning the ball, looking for Speedo on the right-hand side.
Speedo does have it. Eddie Speed. Can he cut it back now? Oh, he tried it, but good job to stay at home by the defender Kevin Garrich, and Garrich will go down. He'll win a foul. Speed will give it away. Just a bit of gamesmanship there as well to allow his teammates to get back. Evan Barker to take for Manitoba. 93rd minute. And you see on your screen there will be 4 total, so just under 2 more minutes to play. And what we're assuming is more or less a secured scoreline by this point. 3-0 the advantage for Menace over Manitoba.
Yeah, I think a well-deserved victory, but give credit to Manitoba for fighting as the ball's played over the top.
Well, Kraft wasn't far away at all from winning that header, but they've still got it. Kraft on the ball, he plays it wide. D'Agostini, can he keep it in? He can, but he's not quite able to recover possession. That wasn't far away at all from goal number 4. D'Agostini's still working.
D'Agostini made an inverted run, and Kraft played the ball just in behind him, away from him. Just a lack of time in there from D'Agostini on his movements. But again, you can see the will and the Menace still want to go forward and score another goal.
Well, Manitoba would like a consolation prize as well. Here they come down the right wing. Reyes Delgado. Delgado loses possession, and he'll give away a free kick as well.
You see the foot come over the top there, and I can see the frustration here.
Well, see the frustration from Grant Makela, who's run all the way out to the 25-yard line. He's not pleased. He would like to see what I believe would be a second yellow.
Yeah, you can see the frustration, because that was over the top, but it was very casual, I believe. Who was it? Malaka Smith on the clearance there, because Malak Smith, because he casually cleared away and just walked over it. But I can see how the goalkeeper, Grant Makela, is trying to protect his players, because that was over the top.
Yeah, it was, and that is what you expect your teammates to do
it's
for
naughty.
you.
You don't need that, you know. It's too
not at this stage.
No.
This one sent long. Oh, well, that's a bit unfortunate. They've called for full time as there was an opportunity going forward for Menace, but I don't think they'll mind it too much, because it's a 3-0 victory with all said and done. FC Manitoba put up a valiant effort, but this time no 0-0 draw to speak of. Des Moines Menace take care of business with a 3-0 win, 3 different scorers. And that was all it took for Menace to grab another win. Now they've clinched a playoff spot and 1 singular point away from clinching the division.
Well, I tell you what, credit to the work rate from the coaching staff, the players. You know, just talking to some of the players with regards to this. I mean, there's just this will to win and get to the next level. There's this fighting spirit amongst them, and you know, like you said, they're 1 point away. And this can be done next Friday night here at home. Again at home. Now we've got a 3-game home run. And I think they deserve to win tonight. Definitely did the Menace. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And Danny, we were talking about it earlier. With the changes that came in, like I said, if I was playing for Menace, I'd be like, my word, look who's coming into the game, you know?
It just keeps coming in waves, and that's how Menace like to run their system. A 3-0 victory for the Menace. It all turns out the way they were hoping it would. They get a clean sheet for the 4th time this season. They get 3 goals for the umpteenth time this season. They can't stop scoring, and that's been the way this one has gone. Justin, before we go, thoughts on a man of the match?
It's a difficult one, to be honest with you. And you know, I got to look at the midfield. What about Corey Cupid? What do you think? You agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And, I mean, there's 3 goal scorers, 3 assisters. Cupid's not one of those, but it doesn't matter. So much impact on the way that this match, that it went, and the success that this team had. I think it really all ran through Cupid. That's the way he's played all season, but he's been in a position tonight where he's been able to be that engine.
Yeah, absolutely. He was pushed into the inside for this game, and he's played there before, but he was so composed on the ball. He did well with Maestri. They covered space. Then he was asked to go out wide. He was penetrating in behind. He was winning tackles, reading play. I mean, he was there. He was everywhere. So I was pretty pleased with his performance today, and it was well deserved. You could have given it to the whole team, but credit to him. It was absolutely fantastic.
A well-deserved win, a team win for Des Moines Menace, and a 3-0 win as it stands. 8 wins, 1 draw, no losses. Come back on Friday at 7 p.m. Same time, same place, 6 days from now, right here on CISN via YouTube. For Justin Forster, my name is Danny Katula. See you guys in about 6 days' time, right here on CISN.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbox to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
It takes a village to empower a young person to achieve their full potential. Yet today in America, 1 in 3 kids are growing up without a mentor. Together, we can change this. You can be that someone for a young person by becoming a mentor. Join the village. Big brothers, big sisters. Become a big today.